This conference will now be recorded.
Let's get started. Let's get started. Ansible. So once you are aware of Linux commands, so then next you are going to think about Ansible. So am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay. So before going to understand what is Ansible, why Ansible, okay, why a lot of people are learning Ansible, okay, and what are the use cases of Ansible, okay, before going to learn about Ansible, okay, let's understand the some introduction to Ansible, okay. So where and why Ansible is required. So if you compare, if you take the IT industry as an example, okay, when we want to perform any task, when we want to do any activity, okay, so like dev or ops, anyone, okay, from many years, okay, so basically operation team people like system admins or infrastructure, okay, infrastructure team, okay, basically how they are performing the tasks. So they will prepare one file, they will prepare one document, and in that document, so they will have all step by step approach. They will have all step by step things to do. So any process, it might be any process, they will follow some kind of document, okay, run book, so where it will have all the step by step procedure. So what all people are doing, they are performing all these task steps as a manual task, okay. So they will perform the manual task from either console, okay, console or GUI, okay, or they will run some commands, command line interface, command line interface. Okay, they may run through command line interface or graphical user interface. Okay, system administrator, so they will refer this okay, checklist or any run book or documentation, and they will perform the step by step activity. How they are doing? Okay, manually they are doing. So in this process, so we may encounter some errors. We have some errors. Okay, so what is the error? What kind of errors we may encounter? Okay, suppose while doing 3 step, he may miss 4th step. Okay, and he will execute the 5th step directly. Okay, so human mistakes will be there. Okay, there is a chance that he may skip one of the step while doing the activity. So there will be like 20 steps. Okay, so he may miss one of the skip. Okay, he will skip the one of the task. Okay, so always in this approach, there is a possibility of getting or doing error. That is one activity. And let's suppose take one more scenario. So infrastructure engineer. So infrastructure engineer want to manage the servers. Okay, he want to manage the servers. So how he is managing? How he is managing means manually and independently he will maintain. Okay, and whenever there is a manual configurations or manual things to manage, so obviously you will have so many errors and maintenance will become tough. maintenance will become tough. Okay, so what is the solution for these kind of things? Okay, these are all manual, and it is a day-to-day repetitive work. You have to do day-to-day repetition work, and whenever you are doing from console, so whatever the changes you are doing, okay, that you cannot record it, or if you want to redo again you have to do. Okay, again you have to do. So there are some problems in this approach. So from many years we are facing this problem. So what is the solution to this? What is the solution to this? Ansible. Okay, see what is the solution to this first? Okay, we have to write automation. Okay, the first thing is, what is the solution to this manual approach? Automation. Okay, automation helps to solve this problem. Okay, so through automation what we can do, we can make okay systems or infrastructure quickly and make it ready, okay, and configured. Okay, we can automate all these steps. Okay, we can automate all these steps, manual works. So in this automation process we can take some processes like IAC. Okay, IAC, infrastructure as a code. Okay, infrastructure as a code. So we will follow IAC mechanism. So whatever the server you want to install or configure manually, okay, so you are writing some code, infrastructure as a code. Okay, suppose if you write any code in a file, okay, if you write any code in a file, so that file you can store it in some version control tool like GitHub. Okay, and you can see the what are all the changes you are doing. Okay, so how your infrastructure is going to be, you can write it inside a file. Okay, describe the state of the infrastructure in a file. So how you want, you just declare in the file, so it will execute this file, this will create the infrastructure for you. Okay, and this file you can share with many people also. Okay, that's why companies are approaching this IAC model, infrastructure as a code. And while writing this file, okay, you are writing some code here, right? How that code has to be, whether that code should be tough or code should be easy. You have to decide. You want to automate. For automation, you decided one process called IAC, infrastructure as a code. You have to write that code in a file. So now you have to decide whether that code has to be written in a tough manner or easy manner. So in that way, so everyone always want IAC to be very easy. Okay, whatever you write the code, that should be easy to write. Okay, humans can able to understand that code, and if they require, they can do any changes to that code. Okay, so that is what people are expecting. It should be very easy to understand. Okay, human readable code. Okay, human readable code and all. Okay, suppose developers writes the code. Okay, and that code will be easily understandable by operations team, and they can use it for further work. So in this process, so what is that such kind of automation tool? So Ansible. Okay, if you write using Ansible language, okay, like Ansible based code, so then what will happen? So that is very easy, human readable code. That is very human readable code. Okay, so let me give one more example here before discussing what is Ansible. So Ansible is an IT automation tool. So by this time I already revealed IT is a IT automation tool. It is an IT automation tool, sir. Okay, so then I will give more details of it. Okay, but why Ansible? Why it is required now? Okay, let's understand about this in a real-time approach. Okay, so in every project, okay, there is some common tasks. As I said, what are these tasks? Okay, what are these tasks? Let's take about some application. So every project they will develop some application and they will deploy that application into server. That is a main work. So in the application development and deployment, okay, so you will get the once after build is done, okay, building the code is done, so you will get a software package. You will get a software package. Okay, so this is the package. So this package you have to install in servers. So that server is basically an operating system where you have installed some programming language like Java, .NET, Python, Ruby, okay, some programming. Along with that, you will install some application servers like Tomcat, JBoss, okay, WebSphere or Wildfly, and web servers like, okay, so HTTPD, Nginx, Apache 2, okay, like this you will install. And finally we have a database also. Okay, when you consider a three-tier architecture, you will have all these things. Okay, in a typical web application, what are the things you will have? A web server, okay, application server, and third one, database server. If you take any website, they want these servers. Database server to store data, application server to process the business logic, and web server to present and maintain the presentation layer logic. So web server will, these are the three servers which basically appear in any architecture. Okay, so if you want to bring your application here, so what you have to do, you have to install some programming language, okay, and you have to install the server like Tomcat, WebSphere, and finally database server like. So you have to install some softwares, okay, you have to install the database. So once this is ready, so once the server is ready, what you have to do, you have to deploy the code in the application server. So basically what we will do is we will copy our code into our packages onto corresponding servers. Okay, so when we have multiple environments here, we have multiple environments like dev, okay, stage, dev, stage, and prod. So let's consider three environments. So in three environments, web servers will be there. Here, all three copies will be there. Okay, so dev also you have all this one, and staging also you have all this one, and prod also will have this. Many you will have, not one copy. You will have many servers. So this process is repeated for each environment. Okay, so installation of the softwares, creation of the servers. Okay, and because of the multiple environments, we have the process is always repetitive in nature. Okay, and in this scenario, if you try to apply old methods like manually, if you do manual installations, manual approach, manual deployment, okay, if you do, so it will always, there is a chance that you will do lot of errors. So to avoid that errors, what is the solution we have? Automation. Okay, because so day to day we have to do this installations, deployments, okay, all these work, because our application is day by day it is developing. Okay, so if you want to avoid this manual work and we have to adopt this task day to day, so then we need automation tool. So industries understand this, we require an automation, and they introduced, okay, before that they introduced some shell scripting, okay, and Python, PowerShell. We can also write like Python, okay, Python scripting. So to automate this, they have chosen this shell scripting or PowerShell or Python scripting. Okay, there is some disadvantages in the shell scripting. PowerShell is basically for Windows, okay, Python for anyone, and shell scripting is for Linux. To automate all this, we have taken scripting. Okay, but what are the disadvantages of shell scripting or PowerShell? Okay, so it is like somewhat readability is very tough, understanding the script is tough. Okay, and these scripts are basically developed based on some, okay, assumptions and calculations. Okay, and it is not, and it is a error prone. Okay, so human mistakes will be there, and how you develop the script, like that only it will be developed. And you have to, for example, if you want to install any package, okay, you have to write the commands. Basically you will write the Linux commands. So whatever command you do, you type, so it will install. Okay, that is what shell script basically. Okay, so maintaining the shell scripts also tough. Okay, so to avoid these shell scripting, to avoid this kind of shell scripting. Okay, so to avoid this only, we have, okay, we need some approach, we need more automation tool. Okay, we should have more automation tool. Okay, that is what your Ansible. Okay, so if you know Ansible, you can straight away replace your shell script. Okay, so you have to, if you learn Ansible, then you can avoid writing shell scripting. Very less you can write. So basic, most of the things you can write in Ansible scripting. So when we go for this kind of approach using Ansible, okay, we can avoid writing this complex code. Suppose same command, if I want to do it in Ansible, let's say I want to install HTTPD. Okay, I want to install HTTPD. So what I can tell, I can use some English language, HTTPD install, something like that. Okay, it's not a command, but we are just selling HTTPD to be installed. We have to declare, that's it. I want HTTPD, like that you have to tell. Then Ansible only will install for you. What has to be done, that will be decided by Ansible. How it has to be done, how it has to do, that will be decided by your shell scripting. It is just like a difference between he's a fresher and he's an experienced guy. Okay, experienced guy know how to do it. Okay, what has to be done, he know. Okay, but a fresher guy, what he will do, he will ask what is the work, how to do it. Okay, then we have to give command. So here I no need to have the knowledge of command. Okay, just I want HTTPD to be installed, to be ready, present. HTTPD like present, that's it. So if you tell like that, it will install HTTPD for you. So Ansible, if I go for Ansible, what is my life means? We can write readable scripts. Okay, human readable script. If I go for shell scripting, it is very tough to understand. Okay, but if you don't have option, you can use it. But Ansible, if you learn what is the advantage, okay, and execution wise also have more benefits. Okay, suppose if I install this, okay, it will install. Okay, HTTPD will be installed. Even if I do also, my HTTPD will install. Here I no need to have what is the command I have to do. No need to have what is yum, what is install and all. Just here HTTPD present. That's it. So it is very easy actually when compared to the shell script. Suppose I want to create a file. So I have to write touch command I have to use and tell F1. So here I have to tell F1 to be present like this. Simple. F1 to be present. Then F1 will create automatically. If I tell F1 to be present, F1 will create automatically. Clear? So you are going to learn one important automation tool called Ansible. Okay, so now let's enter into the main subject. Okay, so what is Ansible? So I have a PPT also for you. Okay, open here. So see here what I am discussing actually up to now is this one only. Okay, so in real time, what we are trying to do. So we have so many works. Okay, different kind of works we have to do in the real time. So you can see all these works. Okay, we are going to create a template for creating VMs or instances. We are preparing the clusters, taking care of the storage management and putting the backups and networking. So that is very important project. then software development, user group, authentication, authorization, performance testing, so many testings, OS upgrade, software upgrade, platform upgrade, security patching, troubleshooting, and client support, customer support, provisioning, orchestration, so many things we will do, monitoring, etc. Okay, and how you are going to do? So see, lot of step-by-step procedure is there. You have to follow some step-by-step. So if you follow step-by-step, then only work will happen. So in case of software deployment, so you have to turn off monitoring, you have to mute your monitoring. Okay, so then afterwards you have to set up the load balancer, then run the migrations and deploy code and restart servers. Again, you have to unmute the monitoring. So there are some processes there. Okay, step by step. If you forget to unmute, okay, then so alerts will go on. Other alerts will not come at all. Okay, like that there is some problem if you do all this manually. Okay, and because your requirements also will increase. Today one server, tomorrow it will be like same server multiple times, and this is duplicated to 4 environments. See, one server. Okay, so 6 servers and total 40 servers here. This is a real-time approach. In real time we have different environments. You have different environments. So that's why we will have a lot of problems. Difficult to manage thousands of servers. Applications also we have many. Okay, we are suffering to manage the applications. The only solution is automation, sir. Okay, automation is the only help it will do. Okay, so if you automate this common task, okay, by writing some code, then it will be, you can easily do this. Okay, so what kind of automation you want to do? So we have various kind of approaches here, where each and every activity we can automate. So here we need an IT automation tool for automating all the repetitive tasks, because these are all almost repetitive. Deployment every day we will do. Okay, that is a repetitive process. So to do one manual deployment, it will take 4 hours. If I automate this, it will be like 30 minutes only. So automation saves a lot of time and money. So now, so there are so many DevOps tools in the market. Okay, so many DevOps tools. Okay, see, these many DevOps tools are there in the market. Okay, so for doing lot of different area. So in that you can find some automation tools. Okay, database automation. Okay, so different automation tools are there. So now what you want to introduce to solve this problem? Okay, so what you want, you have you are okay. So what is the solution? So Ansible, automation for everyone. Okay, so Ansible, automation for everyone. So then let's automate it. That is the main concept behind it. So Red Hat introduced this Ansible. Red Hat Ansible we call. Okay, so what is Ansible? It is an IT automation tool. So what we are going to do with Ansible? So what Ansible is going to do for you? Okay, Ansible will help you configure the systems. Okay, your servers. So configuration management. Okay, it will help you to make your systems in the desired state. So for developer, I am taking one server, installing the Tomcat and making it readily available to him to work. And I am deploying one application and giving for the testing team, directly they can test. And this process I am automated. And I can use this for continuous deployments and so many works, rolling updates, etc. A lot of works I can do with Ansible. Network automation I can do. Okay, configuration management, orchestration, patch management, provisionings, deployments. There is huge list. Okay, you can go change management. Okay, cloud provisioning, ad hoc task execution, administration, automation. Okay, so many works we can do in Ansible in real time. Okay, even though you are learning all things here, when it goes to real time, what they want, you have to automate. through Ansible. You cannot decide, I want only a deployment automation, I want only cloud automation. It is not like that. So which company you are joining, what is their project, so how they want to use Ansible, they will tell. So accordingly, you can develop through Ansible. So, but you should know some of the important core things in Ansible so that you can develop any code. So this is the simplest definition of Ansible: IT automation, configuration management, and provisioning tool. So it is very simple to start. Why we have to learn Ansible? Why we have to go for Ansible means it is very simple to start. Okay, and we can scale up servers. Okay, scale up any potentiality on demand. Okay, so you have to understand what is this. No agents are needed. Okay, parallel by default. Okay, all these are the properties we will discuss with the diagrammatically. I'll write a diagram and I will explain you. So whatever the code you are writing is just like English. So why we are preferring Ansible means it is easy to read, easy to understand. Okay, it is very easy to understand. So it is very simple, powerful, and easy. Okay, so let's discuss all these things in a diagrammatic approach. So what do you mean by configuration management means? From one point we will maintain multiple servers. That also we will see diagrammatically, and we will come back to this slide. Okay, let me draw a diagram. So what Ansible is going to do? We will understand this. So here in this Ansible, I am taking 3 servers. So first let's understand how Ansible is working. Okay, how Ansible is working. So we will understand that. So in this Ansible, there are 2 types of servers or nodes or machines. Okay, control machine. So why we are calling this server as a control machine or control server or control node? Because in this machine, Ansible is installed. Ansible is a tool where we can install. Okay, Ansible is installed on the control machine. Okay, from this control machine, Ansible will connect to remote servers by just using SSH secure shell. It will use SSH mechanism or protocol to connect to remote server. So Ansible works by just a basic SSH mechanism. SSH mechanism is already available inbuilt in Linux. So here SSH is there, here also SSH is there. Okay, so it is basically Linux machine. So let's say this is Ubuntu. Okay, and this is you can consider as Red Hat, and this one as CentOS. This one as CentOS. Okay, so control machine Ubuntu, and this is Red Hat and CentOS. Let's understand. Or this also you can take as Ubuntu, whatever. So Ansible is installed on a control machine, and Ansible not required to install here. No need of Ansible on this node. Then this node we call as remote node or managed node. Managed node. So these remote nodes, Ansible is not required to install. Okay, so that's why this is called as, this concept we call as agentless. Ansible is an agentless architecture. Why we are calling this as an agentless architecture means Ansible agent is not required to install on the managed node. If Ansible is installed on the control machine, main machine, that's enough. Ansible is not required to install on the nodes. Suppose if I install, what will happen? I have to, if any version change, again I have to update it. So that problem will be there, right? So if I don't install Ansible, if without the Ansible installation, if it works, then it will be very fine. Okay, so that's why Ansible is an agentless architecture. So what you have to install on the node means SSH always there, and you can have Python. Okay, so Python is a language. So Ansible is developed using Python and PowerShell. Okay, so you can just install Python on the remote servers. That's it. Python is enough. So Ansible is an agentless architecture. Why we are calling agentless? Because Ansible is not required to install on the remote server. So if installation procedure is becoming very simple here, right? Installation procedure is becoming very simple. That's why we are calling it as easy to set up. Easy to set up. And why we are calling it as simple? Why we are calling it as simple means, okay, why we are connecting first? Let's understand. Why we are connecting? To do some work on the remote server. We want to connect to the remote server for doing some work. What kind of work? Installing some software, creating some files, creating users, creating groups, deploy the code. Okay, lot of work we are going to do, like as I said the examples. Okay, lot of work is there. Any kind of work we can do, right? How you are going to do that work? Manually or any automation? So here we have our choice is automation. Automation means I want to write some code. So whatever the code you have written, so that will be written in a language called YAML. Okay, so this YAML code is written to do some work on the remote machine. Okay, after executing this file, whatever the works you added, that works will be created on the remote server. Whatever the work you have written here in the YAML file, that work will be happened on the remote servers only, managed node only. So this code is very human readable code, easy to understand. To write that code, no special coding skills required. Tomorrow also you will see how you will write so many 35 to 40 files you will write. By after writing 40 files, you feel it is easy. YAML is easy to understand. Your YAML is easy to understand. So let's quickly, I just want to summarize what I want to say in this diagram. Okay, so features of Ansible. What are the important features of Ansible means? Ansible is simple. Why it is simple means, to do some work in Ansible, we are writing some code. In which language? YAML language. Okay, so YAML language is human readable code. Okay, human readable code, no special coding skills required, so that anyone can productively write. That is why it is called as simple. Okay, next point. Why Ansible is powerful? Why Ansible is powerful? Why it is powerful means, with Ansible, I can do any kind of work like configuration management, deployment, installations, orchestration, okay, network automation, any development workflow automation, and application lifecycle automation, application deployment, start till end, CI/CD. Okay, so many automations I can do. Monitoring I can automate through Ansible. Okay, lot of stuff is there. Okay, we can do anything with Ansible. Cloud automation we can do. That is why it is powerful tool. Powerful tool for IT automation. Next point, third feature. Ansible is easy. Why it is easy? Easy in the sense easy to set up. Okay, Ansible is easy to set up. It works with basic SSH mechanism to connect to the machines to do some work. It is working on the remote machines, remote connections. See, it is not working for its own. It is you can manage from one server. we can manage all installation on the remaining servers. So it is configuration management. So Ansible is easy because it is agentless. Okay, easy to set up. Easy to set up. Very fast we can set up the Ansible. And you don't need to install any agent. Just by Python SSH, this Ansible is going to work. Okay, whenever I want to perform any work in Ansible, you will write some code. Okay, this code will connect to the remote server via SSH. Okay, remote server sometimes also called as host, remote host. Okay, you will connect to the remote host by using SSH, and you will do the task or you will do the work. Okay, so Ansible is very powerful. And one more features I will tell you, like Ansible can support Linux, Windows, Mac, etc. cross-platform. Okay, and Ansible can be work on physical machine, virtual machine, cloud. Okay, everywhere. Container also it will work. Okay, different technologies are there. Physical machine, virtual machine, cloud machine, containers machine. We are going to learn in future all the new technologies. Okay, so Ansible can run anywhere, but Ansible cannot be installed on Windows. That you have to make a note. Ansible can be installed on Linux. Ansible cannot be installed on Windows. So you have to make a note. For Windows, there is a Ansible has come up with a one more product called Ansible Tower. Okay, I may teach or I may not teach Ansible Tower. Okay, but I will teach Linux automation. Okay, I will teach Ansible for automation. Okay, clear, sir? Why we have to go for Ansible? Because Ansible is giving me these many features. Easy to set up, where anyone can understand the code. Okay, I want to do some work on remote machine. It will just use basic SH connection and start working it. So wherever you install Ansible, that machine we call as control machine. So okay, clear up to now what we have discussed? Any questions? So this is the diagram I was explaining. Okay, Ansible is simple, human readable, no special coding skills. Tasks executed in order. There is no chance of missing any task. Get productivity quickly. Then it is very powerful because you can do many different kind of works. And agentless architecture. Okay, it is an agentless or no agents to exploit or update. So that is what all I discussed here. So why Ansible is required. And advantages. Okay, when you automate, you can a lot of benefits will come. Team impact and enterprise level also we have a lot of benefits. Okay, before going into the what is push and pull, okay, what is push mechanism and pull mechanism, let's understand how Ansible is working. Okay, let's understand how Ansible is working. Okay, then if after understanding how Ansible is working, okay, then we can do it. So you can read these questions and answer later. Okay, so already I discussed same points. Okay, I can do automate, accelerate, collaborate, and integrate. So all these tasks I can do with Ansible. Like I can automate infrastructure, applications, network, container, security things, monitoring, cloud. So a lot of things I can automate. And who are using Ansible? Like big companies they are using. Okay, anyone. IT, it is an open source tool and licensed also is there, but you can go with a lot of companies are using Ansible. Okay, let's understand how Ansible is working. Okay, take the same diagram and you can understand this how Ansible is working. So Ansible, you write some code here, right? So whatever you write some code, okay, it will connect to the remote server as soon as you execute this code. Okay, in this Ansible control machine, you have one term called inventory. Sir, please understand theoretically and practically we will do, sir. Okay. So inventory, what is inventory? Inventory is a file which consists of remote nodes information, Ansible control machine, what servers it has to manage. That information is available in the inventory. Okay, if you open this file, I have to write in this file what I am going to write, how many servers I want to manage. Okay, so that is the first component. So as soon as I execute this file in Ansible, so it will read this inventory file on which servers I want to connect. That is the first component, inventory. Ansible machine want to which servers it has to contact. That information is available in the inventory. So it will read the inventory file. After connecting, okay, after connecting, so in the code, okay, in the code, it is a file, okay, it is a YAML file, okay, it is a YAML. YAML stands for Attained Markup Language, okay, or yet another markup language, okay. So in this control machine, okay, we have a file. What is that file? You can call as project file. Simply you can call as a project file. In which language it is written? YAML language. Okay, YAML language. So that we call as, technically we call as a playbook. Playbook. Okay, we call it as a playbooks. So here you have written a playbook. In which language? YAML. Playbooks are written in YAML language. So this playbook consists of plays. So terminology is important. Playbook consists of play. So how many play? One to many plays. You can have a single play or many plays. Inside play, what you will have is task. So in one play, you can have single task or n number of tasks. Okay. So task 1 or task 2. Any task you can have. Okay, inside task, each task having one important component called module. Important component called module. So these diagrams are these diagrams looks very simple and easy also. Okay, in the PPT it is there. We will come back and we will see, but just understand practically. Okay. So whatever you are writing is a playbook. Playbook consists of plays. Inside a play, you have a task. Inside the task, you have a module. So here, what is module? So in Ansible terminology, module is nothing but it is a Python program. Python program, sir. Nothing more than that. Okay, module is a Python program or PowerShell program. So module is the fundamental unit in the Ansible. So it is doing the actual work. Okay, actual work will be done by module. You can treat module like a one of the Linux command. Okay, you can treat module like a Linux command. You can just compare like a Linux command. Let's say yum. What is this yum? Yum is a command which basically do some work, installation work. What is user add? Tell me what is user add? User add is a command. It will create a user. In the same way, Ansible we have modules. So there are so many 300 plus 700 plus modules are there. Okay, each module will do some one work in Ansible. Okay, so module is the main important component to do some work. And where we are writing these modules? Inside a task. Task means some job, some work. Okay, that work, how it has to do, that will be decided by module. Task means some work. Collection of task is nothing but play. Okay, suppose you want to run 10 tasks, so that is called play. Okay, and collection of plays is nothing but playbook. Okay, a file that contains one or more places is called a playbook. So here each task runs a module. Okay, module. A module is nothing but it's a Python program which will do some work. Each module, okay, this module will be installed on the remote machine. So whenever you run this file, whatever you mention this module, that module will be downloaded into the remote machine, and this module will be executed. Executed means run. So let's say module is Python program. This Python program will run and it will give some output. Okay, it will do some work. Once work is completed, this node will remove the, or Ansible will remove the module on the remote machine, delete the module, and that output is the right, that output will return back to the console. So who is doing the works are here? Module. Module is the main workable component. So 700 plus modules are there in 700 plus modules are there in the Ansible. So many works we can do with module. Like one module will create a file, one module will install the software. Okay, one module will download the something from online. One module will create a user. One module will create a group. So basically all Ansible automations you can do with module. Okay, so this is what the terminology behind the Ansible. So in Ansible, what are the things we have? A control machine. What is control machine? Control machine means where Ansible is installed. So Ansible can be installed on your machine, okay, or it may be on a network where I can able to connect and start work. It is like basically a system admin system, okay, administrator system, okay, where I can connect a machine which Ansible is installed. Okay, and what is a node? So remote host or remote node. So where the work will happen, where the work will happen. Who will do the work? Basically module. Okay, module is the main workable unit. So if you want to do all these work, you have to write a playbook. That is the whole thing. You have to write a playbook. After writing playbook, then execute this playbook, then this work will happen. So all this setup we have to do practically. Okay, we have to do practically. So Ansible works by connecting to your nodes and pushing out a small program called Ansible module. So Ansible module will be copied to the remote machine whenever you execute it. So then afterwards, so these programs are executed in the system and desired state, how you want, okay, what you want actually, okay. So that will be what you want is available on the system remote server. I want HTTPD, that's it. So it will be available. So there is a module, call that module, then it will create a HTTPD. Okay, Ansible execute these modules via SSH and removes them when finished. So this is the internal working of architecture. Okay, so in the interviews they may ask, you can tell I am the user of Ansible, I don't want to know this, means that's fine, I agree with you, but just how it is working in the background. So this is the information. Okay, so we will see all these components practically. Okay, we have architecture like this, we have a inventory, modules, plugins, okay, hosts, networking, users, playbooks, okay, and it will have the database internally, CMDB database, and we can connect with cloud. Okay, different terminology is there. Syllabus of the Ansible, okay, ad hoc commands, inventory, playbook, okay, all these technicals we have to learn. Galaxy, roles. So understand why we are going to learn Ansible. Simple. So from one machine, I want to control a group of servers for doing various activity in an automated approach. So who has to do that work? Modules. We have so many modules. Using these modules, I will write a playbook. If you open playbook, you will see modules also, which will do the actual work. And what is host inventory or inventory file? Which consists of information about the remote information, like IPs will be there, IP address or domain names. Okay, so you can read these notes once after you do some practical. Okay, so this is what is module and what is Ansible playbooks. So these are all the terminologies are in the Ansible what we are going to learn in the complete Ansible subject. Okay, now we have to set up practically. Practicals are very important. So once you do the practicals, then you can easily understand. So any questions you want to ask me here, let me know. Do you have any questions? Anyone have any questions? Is it clear for you why Ansible?
No, sir.
One question. These modules are basically commands, right? That's what you mentioned, which are basically a Python program. It's basically these modules are commands, correct? Like the commands we're using on shell or Linux, like that.
No. I just given an example. You can treat like a command, but module is not a command. Actually, it is a script, a complete Python program. Okay, module is nothing but it's a Python program which will we have to just mention name of the module. That's it. Okay, internally it will execute some Python program and do the work for you. Here you just need to know what is the module name you have to use. That's it. You have to just mention module name. Then
Okay.
work will happen automatically in the behind the scenes. It will run some Python program and it will do the work for you. So as a user of the Ansible, we don't need to worry how module is developed or what is happening with that module. We don't need to worry. We are just users of the module. Okay, and practically we will see. I will explain all these things. Okay, you will come to know in detail after setting up the practical. So tomorrow anyhow we are going to use these modules. Okay, and we are preparing the playbooks, commands and all. So today we will see the series setup, and if time permits I will explain some concepts in practically. Okay, for setup only will take time today. So tomorrow we can please do the setup today, and tomorrow onwards we can start completely commands. We have two things in Ansible, sir. Okay, so if you want to do practicals, we have three things. One is ad hoc command. Ad hoc command is just like you can treat like a Linux commands. Okay, so you are running so many Linux commands right up to now. So you can treat like a ad hoc command is nothing but it's a Linux commands you can treat. Okay, and whatever you are writing in a playbooks here. So playbooks you can treat like a scripting. Okay, writing something in your file. Okay, and something called roles you will develop. Okay, ROLES. So roles is nothing but it is a project folder structure. If you want to develop the role, what you have to learn is playbooks. Okay, so if you know how to write a playbooks, then you can develop the roles. Okay, so role is nothing but collection of playbooks. And here I can already I told you this is a difference. Linux command and scripting. Scripting means automation basically. So command means it is like one command. You have to write group of commands. It's nothing but script. Okay, so we will see. We have to learn how to write an ad hoc command and how to write a playbook and how to write a role. That is what you have to learn here practically. So in companies, okay, yesterday also I have written one playbook. Okay, yesterday also I have written one playbook. 4 days back, one interview happened. There also I written one playbook. Okay, after writing playbook, I got selected. Okay, they asked some questions. In your project, what kind of roles you are using and what is its purpose. Okay, so if you know these three things, then you can success in the Ansible. Okay, so we are going to use three things actually in real time. Okay, sometimes we will use ad hoc command to do some work quickly, or sometimes we will execute the playbook, and or sometimes we will use the role. So slowly, first day ad hoc commands you will practice. The next coming 4 or 5 days you will do more playbooks, and finally you will go to the roles. If you know playbooks, then roles will become easy. Roles will become easy. Clear? This is what you are going to learn. So out of these three things, so where is module? So module will be everywhere, sir. Okay. And if you want to write ad hoc command, so you have to use module. Okay, if you want to write playbook, you have to use module. So in the roles also, role is nothing but collection of playbooks. Okay, so module means it is a separate working unit. So many modules are there in Ansible. So many modules are there in Ansible. Now one question: you have written the command. This command, where it has to execute? That is one question. You are writing some playbook. Where that playbook have to execute? On which machine? You have developed role which where it has to execute. So that information where you can write, that is called inventory. Okay, so this is also one important point, inventory. So after installing, you create the inventory, okay, and use module and write ad hoc command or playbook or roles, depends on your requirement. So if you don't write inventory, then after writing ad hoc command, so it will confuse where I have to run this command. So inventory is nothing but it's a file which consists of remote servers information like IP address. Okay, so that is what whole picture summary of the Ansible. So let's install Ansible first, like this setup. Okay, and then we will try to run one ad hoc command today. Okay, so to do this setup, I will take Ubuntu as a server for installing Ansible, Red Hat as one node, and another one I will take as Ubuntu only. And this setup I will do with AWS Cloud Server. Okay, so I will take the AWS console to create the servers. So sign into the console. So quickly create 3 servers. Okay, 2 Ubuntu servers and 1 Red Hat server. And actually, whatever the setup I am doing, okay, now, so we are going to do with playbooks also. Okay, it will simplify my work. But today you don't know playbook. If I write playbook and install Ansible, okay, if I set up Ansible, you will confuse. Okay, so that's why we will do with Linux commands. But once you understand playbooks and all, then you can automate with playbooks only. In real time, we can use playbook to set up Ansible. But here you don't know playbook now, so it is meaningless to use playbook now. So that's why I will use only Linux command to set up this. So in the middle of the class, in the middle of this Ansible course, what we will do, we will also automate with, okay, we will also automate with playbook. Fine. So let's go with the very basic. If your Linux knowledge is enough to install Ansible. So to create 3 servers, I will use this cloud. Okay, this is Ubuntu, one Red Hat and one Ubuntu. So launch instance. Some server is running from 3 days. Huh? Okay, fine. So let's take this Red Hat. So first we will go with the control machine Ubuntu. Okay. So I'll quickly launch. Next. So review and launch. Okay, I'm taking some launch it. That's it. So this will create a Red Hat server or Ubuntu server. Okay. So it is creating. So pending, right? So I just want to name this as control machine. Okay, control machine. Can anyone tell me why I am calling this as a control machine? Can anyone tell me why I am writing it as a control machine?
Because we will install Ansible with this.
Super, super, super. Okay, because we are going to install Ansible on this machine. That's why we are calling as control machine. Next, I will create one more server. One is Red Hat and another is Ubuntu. So I am calling it as managed node 1 and managed node 2 correspondingly. Okay. So why I am calling this as a managed node means, so managed node, because Ansible will manage that node. Okay, control machine will manage that node. In real time, we have hundreds of nodes managed by your Ansible control machine. That much powerful it is, sir. Okay, Ansible can manage hundreds and hundreds to hundreds, thousands also. It will manage. So another one is Red Hat. So first quickly create 3 servers as per the diagram. So minimum 2 I am taking. You can have 100 also. Okay, but I am taking minimum 2. You also practice with 3 servers. Okay. So just follow my commands to install or set up Ansible. You will get a notes also. All these steps you can also set up by following the notes. So if you do 2 times, 3 times, then you can also set up. But just understand one thing: how much you practice this setup also in real time. Okay, if you join any company, these setups are already available. Okay, don't waste too much time in doing the setups and all. I'm clearly giving a warning to you today, serious warning. Okay, don't try to learn Ansible setup for 5 times, 6 times and make yourself fool. Okay, you have to do it one time. So once it is working, then start developing the, okay, then start using these things. Okay, try to run ad hoc commands, try to do playbooks, try to do roles. Okay, these things you have to focus, not on the Ansible setup. Okay, I'm giving already one warning for you here. So that I know a lot of people, because it's a lengthy process now, so they will practice many times the setup. Okay, nothing to do that much practice. So once you set up, you start working on it. So give me 1 minute. Let me stop unnecessary servers. Okay, so one is control machine. So this one is Red Hat. Okay, so managed node. I don't know what is happening here. In typing, it's going. Okay, managed node 2, and this is managed node 1. What is happening, sir, here?
Yesterday also we have same problem raised, sir. Yesterday night in AWS.
Yeah, yeah. I'm typing something, it's going automatically.
Yeah, just like that only.
Okay, fine. So you have the setup, right? So it's very simple. You can create this servers. So once after this, okay, I'll go here. I will draw one more diagram very neatly. So this is what I have done. Okay, I created 3 servers. So now I want to establish the SSH between these servers. Okay, SSH. So this is a Ubuntu, right? This is Ubuntu, and this is Ubuntu, and this is Red Hat. Okay. So what is the step means? Here we have to install Ansible. The step number 1, install Ansible. Okay, install Ansible. Then step number 2. Okay, so we have to password authentication. Yes, it is all about SSH setup. Okay, as a part of SSH setup, we have to enable the password authentication. Okay, then afterwards we have to create one common user called Ansible. Okay, you can create any user, but basically we will create a user called Ansible. Okay, Ansible user creation. Okay, and for that user we have to provide sudo power. For that user you have to provide sudo power. Okay, so these steps you have to do in every machine. So here only thing, instead of Ansible you have to install Python. So install Python. If Python, basically in Linux, Python is there. If not there, you have to install Python. Then password authentication, yes. And next you have to do Ansible user creation. Okay, Ansible user creation. Then fourth one, sudo power. So every system we should have the common user. Basically, we will work like this. Okay, common user. So let's go with this setup. Every system you have a common user. Install Python. Okay, second one, password authentication, yes. I'll show practically how to do. Next, third one, Ansible user, and fourth one, make him sudo power. Okay, currently ensure, so user is common between all the 3 server. Ansible user here, Ansible user here, Ansible user here. So Ansible will communicate with Ansible user, Ansible will communicate with Ansible user. This is what the initial setup you have to do. So in future I can change remote users. Suppose let's, on the remote machine Rajesh was user. Then what I have to do? So is Ansible want to talk to Rajesh user? How that can be done? I will show that kind of setup also. Currently Ansible works by default with common user configuration. Okay, common user should be there. So in company we will use Ansible ADM or Ansible admin, such kind of name. Okay, or you can use Ansible also. So first finish these kind of things. Okay, so for doing this, all Linux commands only. Commands you have to do, Linux commands. First connect to the Ubuntu and install Ansible. So let me use git bash only. Okay, so to connect to the Ubuntu, so cd downloads, my keypad is available in the downloads folder. So connect it, enter. So yes. So how to install Ansible on the Ubuntu? So just go to the Ansible documentation. So there is okay, Ansible installation. Okay, guide. There is a guide on the official documentation. So docs.ansible.com, latest installation guide. Okay, so the Ansible latest version is 2.9. Okay, so if you go to the installation, you can see Ansible can be installed in many servers. Okay, but you cannot see Windows. I'm waiting for that. Okay, but there is no option for Windows. Okay, we are waiting. So when they will develop, we don't know. Fine. So Ubuntu is here. Red Hat is here. You want. So Ubuntu, go to Ubuntu. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 commands are there. Okay. So copy here and paste it here. Sudo apt update. That is the first command. So if you copy this one, it will fail. So you have to use only up to command. Okay. So don't copy this dollar symbol. So first command is done. Next, second command. Yes. Which basically sets up the Python properties. And third command, it will set up the repository for Ansible, EPA repository. Okay, third command. Next, finally, fourth command, sudo apt install Ansible. So this, if you run these 4 commands, okay, so then your Ansible will be ready. So yes, so you can verify. Ansible has given some command line utility called Ansible. Okay, so many command line utilities are there in Ansible. The first one what we are going to learn is Ansible. So Ansible utility means Ansible command line. Okay, Ansible -- version. See, so there is one command. So Ansible commands will start with Ansible only, Ansible, and followed by some sub command. So if I give this option, okay, Ansible -- version, so it will tell Ansible version 2.9.6. Okay, that is the version. Ansible version is 2.9.6. Configuration file is etc ansible ansible.cfg. There is one more configuration file. Okay, so like this, modules search path where modules are installed. Okay, and Python module location where that modules are available. Okay, like this, some information is available related to the version and some configuration files. Okay, fine, we will see those, but Ansible version command is working and Ansible version is printed. Okay, now we have completed the first step, install Ansible. Next, what we are going to do? Okay, password authentication, yes. So in SSH, this, because it is SSH, right? So I'm opening the configuration file of SSH. So where is that file? sshd_config. So open this file. You can search one thing called password authentication. Okay, password authentication. So you have to make it yes. So make it yes and save it. So since you have changed this file, we have to reload this service. Reload SSHD. Okay, you have to reload the service. So with this, your second step is completed. Next, third step and fourth step. So you have to create a user called Ansible. Okay. One minute, sir. Okay. So I want to create a user. So I'm using add user command. Add user command. Okay, so if I use add user, what will happen? It will prompt for the password. Okay, add user command will help useful in Ubuntu, which basically sets up the user and asks for the password. So I'm typing the password as Ansible. Okay, enter, 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 enter. Yes, is information correct? Yes. So user got created. Ansible user is created. Now we have to make that user, okay, vi sudo. Okay, here you have to mention Ansible all equal to all. Okay, here you have to write Ansible. It has open in nano editor by default. Okay, it has open in nano editor by default. So how to close the nano editor? Anyone? Control O, enter, Control X. Okay. So we have to open this vi sudo and add user. Okay, Ansible user, writing all equal to all is to all. So with this, user got sudo power. Okay, so user got sudo power, sudo privilege. Okay, this is what I have done in the first node. 4 steps. Install Ansible, password authentication, yes. Why we are doing all these things means I want to connect to through SSH. That's why. That too using password. Okay, SSH connection with password. First you have to set up the SSH between this node to that node. Then only they can connect with SSH. So now let's go another tab, open another tab and connect to second machine and do the same work. Now this first time you have seen here, na? So repeat same steps on again. You are seeing one more time, okay? Because that also a Ubuntu only, right? Only one thing you will not do is Ansible installation. Node configuration you are doing. What you have to do in the node? Okay, so Python also by default available, sir. Okay, Ubuntu Python is available. So type Python version. So basically you can type Python 3. Okay, hyphen version. So it is there. Okay, Python 3 is there. Okay, so Python is available. Now what you have to install is okay. So first sudo vi /etc/sshd underscore config. Open this configuration file and make password authentication. Okay, /password authentication. Okay, so password authentication should be yes. Save it, and since you have modified this file, you have to reload this using systemctl commands. Systemctl reload. Okay, sshd. So then after this, create a user. So add user Ansible. Okay, give the password as Ansible. Okay, and click yes. So then you have to make that user sudo power. Okay, so come down and I write Ansible. Okay, Ansible all equal to all is to all. So same thing you can write down. All. Control O, enter, Control X. Okay, this is what you have to do it on the remote machine. Okay, so your installation of Python is not required because it is already available. So password authentication, Ansible user, and sudo power. So now let's work on disconnect this server, exit, and connect it to the second server. So this is a repetitive work you are doing manually. You do it on 3 servers. So now let's go back to the third server, okay, which is managed node 2 Red Hat machine. Okay, try to do the same activity, but so you can see some command changes. Okay, so user creation and all will be changed. Observe carefully. Lot of people will do mistakes in the Red Hat only. I don't know why. Okay, so sudo vi, so /etc/ssh/sshd underscore config. Okay, so then password capital P SS. So exactly how to search. Okay, capital P A S S W O R D capital A, then enter. So here you can see. So password authentication is repeated twice. Okay, so you have to go to no and change it to yes. because other one is commented. This is called comment. Dash is there, right? That is comment. You can ignore that, and wherever there is no comment, so there you can change yes. And then you have to restart the service. Systemctl reload sshd. You have to reload. Then afterwards user creation. So to create a user, we have to do user add. And how to update the password? Sudo passwd ansible. Okay. So like this, you have to do extra command to update the password. So once password is done, then provide the vi sudo. Vi sudo. So you have to go down till end. So here you can write Ansible username. Ansible all caps lock, all equal to all equal to all. So here you can write, okay, all, just write all, okay, just write all. No passwd is there, right? Don't write now, okay. Password, no password is there, right? Don't write, just write all equal to all. So then save this file. Okay, with this, what happens, sir? Your almost how much percentage? 90% of the setup is completed. Ansible is installed, common user creation done, and that user have some special power called sudo. So this is what you have done. Now we have to test after SSH setup. So this is Ansible machine. Okay, so Ansible is available here. Okay, so I just want to check whether this system can connect to Ansible user, okay, with the help of password. So with the help of password, IP address, first IP address. Okay, so I want to take IP address. I am taking private IP of the server. Okay, and which server I want to take? So remote server. Okay, so managed one. Right. So this is a command to check whether it is connecting to remote server or not. So it's asking password. I typed the password and it's got connected. See, connected or not? Okay. So SSH is working or not? I type password, it will connect. See, 191 to 178. So SSH is working with the help of password. Now let's check for other server. Second server, SSH is working or not? So take the IP of the server and paste it. SSH username at the rate IP address. See, password it's asking, entered, see it's connected. Okay. In two scenarios, what is happening, sir? It's getting connected. Okay. Here also. In two scenarios, it is if you enter password, it will connect. So means what? Your SSH setup is successfully done. Right or wrong? Up to now clear, everyone?
Yes, sir. Sir.
SSH, just basic SSH, okay? You are just enabled the SSH. So only Ansible installation also command only, Linux commands only. Up to now, whatever you have done, all are Linux commands only. Still, you have not entered any Ansible stuff. What in this setup, whole setup, all commands only, Linux commands, SSH related commands, and one more is all Linux installation commands only. How to install Ansible, how to create a user, the basic groundwork you have done. Okay, but one problem I will tell you. So Ansible is an IT automation tool. Okay, so whenever it is connecting, it is asking password, right? I don't want this. It should not ask password. Whenever I am connecting, it is asking password. It is not connecting directly. So can anyone tell me, okay, in Linux, how to achieve this passwordless mechanism? Anyone can tell me? how to achieve this passwordless mechanism?
By uploading the key pair.
Okay, so generating the key pair, and we have to upload the public key to the remote server. So this is the answer, sir. Okay, all people know, I know. Here all people know this process, but just I am saying the answer. So we have to generate the keys, okay, and we have to copy. We have to generate the keys and
Public key.
copy the public key to the remote server. Now, if I want to generate the key, first, what is the first thing is I have to switch to the Ansible user. su-Ansible, okay? Because control machine, I want to work as Ansible user. Okay, from here, who am I? Ansible, okay? I already told you, we want to work with a common user called Ansible. Okay, so here I am generating the key, SSH keygen, okay? Enter, enter, enter. SSH keygen is complete. How to copy public key to the remote server? SSH copy ID. There is one special command, SSH copy ID. Okay, username @ remote server IP. Which machine you want to copy? Take the IP and copy it. It will copy automatically. See here, enter. Yes, it will ask for password. Okay, number of key added. So what is the advantage of this scenario is if you copy public key, so while connecting, it will not ask password. See, exit. So I'm connecting, it will not ask password. Okay, so passwordless mechanism. So now I generated the key. Now I will copy to other server also. Key generation is only one time, but copying can be many servers. You can copy to many servers.
The same key will be copied to the another node.
Yeah, same key will be, public key will be copied to the other node. Okay, like you have 100 servers, you have to run this command 100 times. Okay, so or else you can develop a shell script. Okay, execute that script, and you have to loop 100 times. Okay, so looping shell script loop you can do, and you can make it very easily this activity. Okay, so now your Ansible can connect to the remote machine without any password. See here. Okay, connected or not? Connected. So up to here, you have to do the, up to here, how much setup is completed in the Ansible is around 99% completed. So 1% why it is pending means you have to verify through Ansible. Okay, even though setup is ready, I just want to test some Ansible related stuff here. So can anyone tell me whatever work we have done up to now, is there anything related to Ansible terminology?
No.
No, this is
Within
Linux,
static modules.
Linux, 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 Linux. Everything is Linux. Okay. So now coming to the Ansible terminology. So first point, what is the Ansible terminology? Inventory. Okay. Second terminology, module. Third one, ad hoc command. So whatever you are hearing is here. Okay. Ad hoc command. Fourth one is playbook. Then fifth one, okay, roles. Okay, up to now you've seen. Okay, so inventory, module, and ad hoc command. So first you have to prepare the inventory. Already, whenever you install Ansible, by default all modules are downloaded. So you can type module location if you want. You can type this. You can see here. Okay, Ansible Python module location. So user lib Python 3 package. In this folder, all Python programs are copied. 700 plus will be there. Okay, so you don't need to worry now. So what you have to prepare is an inventory file. Okay, inventory file. Okay, inventory file. Okay, there is already one inventory file is available in the etc/Ansible. Okay, inventory file is available in the etc/Ansible. What is that inventory file? Okay, hosts file. Okay, cat hosts file. Open this file. Okay, you have to open this sudo sudo vim host file. Okay, host file is nothing but inventory file. Okay, open it. So what is the bad luck is, it is an empty file. So this host file is an empty file. Are you seeing anything in this? Any statements are here in this file? No, because all are commented, right? It will be ignored. Comments. So there is no file. There is no single sentences being added. It is an empty file. Okay. So we can write. So based on the OS name, we can define the group like this. See here, sir. Very simple. Okay. So I will write Ubuntu. So name of the group name. Okay, it is the name of the group followed by Ubuntu server IP. So here I am writing one name. Any name you can write, but I am writing Ubuntu. And next is Red Hat. Okay. So I am just grouping the server by the operating system. So this machine belongs to Red Hat. So I am just grouping. So inventory file is nothing but host file. Okay, it is a collection of remote servers information. So remote server information is available. Okay, one with IP or it's a group name. Okay, and Ubuntu or it's a server. So I can add many IPs related to Ubuntu. Okay, in future. But here only two servers are there. One Ubuntu, one Red Hat. So this is how you have to prepare the inventory. Okay, so here we have prepared. So once after prepared, I want to run the ad hoc command. Okay, today I will run the ad hoc command, but tomorrow I will explain this ad hoc commands. Okay, so it is a command. Okay, I will explain tomorrow again. Don't worry. Okay, so you have to run this command. So every ad hoc command will start with Ansible. Okay, Ansible followed by some module name. Okay, and here you can write, okay, all group name like this. Ansible all -m ping. So let's just type this command. Okay, enter. So now you can see whenever I type this command, Ansible used this module called ping module. It looks like a Linux command only. You are just declaring the module name. M stands for module. All means all servers. So how many servers you have defined in the inventory, it will connect and it will give the output. See, it has connected to the remote server. I got the output. So basically, it will just check whether Python is available or not. Okay, this module checks Python availability on the machine. So Python is available. That's why ping is written pong, true, green color. If anyone got red color means your setup is wrong, somewhere you missed out. Okay, so tomorrow up to here you have to type. So just to blindly note down all the commands and try to execute. So Ansible all -m ping. If it is working, that's fine. Both like this you have to get. Okay, green color, success. So from here onwards, your work will start. Actual work, what you are going to develop or write, not the installation part. Installation part in the companies can be done in 5 minutes also. There is one script, execute it, everything will be ready. Okay, Ansible all -m ping, that's it, it will work. Okay, that's why I'm saying you practice whatever you want today, tomorrow, by tomorrow's class. After that, you don't need to set up anything. So just practice on ad hoc commands, playbooks, and roles. You focus on main things. In every tool you take, sir, only focus on main content, not the installation. So I know most of the people, after setting up Ansible setup, they will think they know Ansible. Okay. After setting up Jenkins, they will tell they know Jenkins. After setting up Docker, they know everything, especially Kubernetes. After setting up Kubernetes, they will tell Kubernetes they know. In coming to real time, you never do any installation work. Please remember, all tools are already installed. So that's why. So don't focus much on installation part. You have to focus. Setup is important. You know how to do it just by seeing Google. So you can do that. Okay, from here onwards, you have to focus. Okay, in tomorrow's class, directly I will start with ad hoc commands. Okay, ad hoc commands. And 2 interview questions for you tomorrow. The first interview question is, what is Ansible? Second interview question is, why Ansible? Okay, third one, right? Okay. So what are the use cases of Ansible? 3 questions you have to answer me tomorrow. What is Ansible? And why Ansible? And what are the use cases of Ansible? Use cases means like what are the use configuration management, deployment, orchestration. Okay, that list is there, right? That one, network automation, configuration, automation, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so that's it for today. We'll meet tomorrow. If you have any questions, let me know.
Sir, okay, we not need to concentrate on this password authentication and sudo power and adding user for this.
What's that?
Sir, we installed 2 remote nodes, right? I mean, 2 remote nodes or
Yeah.
manager nodes. In companies,
Yeah.
we have 50 remote nodes or 50 manager nodes, so we no need to install all these things. I mean, password authentication as Ansible user, sudo power for all 50 manager nodes.
Basically, who is asking this question? May I know?
Vasu.
Okay, Vasu. Yeah. So you are going to join in your company as a DevOps engineer. So basically, here we are targeting to make you as a DevOps engineer. Okay, not as a system administrator. Okay. So in the DevOps engineering world, okay, the people who are in the DevOps world, okay, they will not do these setups. Okay, there will be separate team in real time. Okay, they will do the like system administrators are there, right? So they will configure this Ansible setups and
Okay, sir.
okay. So in your practicals, you have to do, sir. That's it. You have to do all this. But when it comes to real time, these setups are completely doing by your senior system admin people. Okay. So because Linux automation is nothing but Ansible basically. So when they want to do Linux automations, they will go for Ansible. So setups and all is doing in a company by system administrators. So as a DevOps engineer, we have to use Ansible for basically for deployment. Okay, deployment or install set up some DevOps tools. Okay, set up some development projects. Okay, writing some playbooks. We are the users of Ansible. Okay, not the setups we are not doing. That's why I told you, don't focus much on the setup. Try it once you set up this 3 setup, then start using it. Okay, start using it. Yeah, actual stuff will come tomorrow. Please be prepared. I am going to cover lot of playbooks for no doubt. Okay, so you feel you feel become very tough when you don't practice. Definitely. Okay, practice is the key to become Ansible. Ansible is dead easy, sir. Ansible is dead easy. Okay. I have done many projects in Ansible. All are easy only. The only thing how it became easy means by practice. Okay. You have to practice, practice, practice. Then this will become easy. So any question? Any questions?
No.
So try to set up today. You have to do Ansible setup today, and just ensure you got this output like Ansible. Ansible all -m ping. Type this command. Tomorrow I will explain what is the syntax, adopt commands and all. But just type this command. You can see the output like such as green color. If it is coming green color, then your setup is working fine. If anything red color, then somewhere you have done mistake in doing all the earlier Linux commands. So just I will stop these machines so that we can restart this tomorrow. Okay. So quickly set up today, okay? Don't miss that, okay? Because from tomorrow onwards, you will be learning lot of practicals, right? So you will be delayed, okay? You will be getting delayed if you don't practice. That's why. Fine. So let's meet tomorrow.
Next.
Tomorrow 9:30 only, okay? Tomorrow we are meeting at 9:30 only.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.